Welcome back, everybody. So today we are going to be discussing the Bitcoin and crypto market. Now, at the time of recording, the Bitcoin price is $93,000. Now, I want to make this video relatively quickly. Now, I don't really know how quickly I'm going to get this video out because my editing skills are quite poor. So who knows when this video is coming out. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to jump on and just give my 2 cents on what is currently happening and why it's currently happening. Now, everything in the crypto space is pretty much bleeding today over the past couple of hours, and there's a lot of panic around. Now, the event and the narrative around this is that Trump is going to be putting tariffs on Canada and Mexico, and obviously China. Now, obviously, there's a lot of people who are panicking about it, and I don't really understand why it would have any implications on the Bitcoin and crypto markets, but you know, this is where we're at, and there's a lot of people who are very, very, very worried about it. Now, I have been talking about this on Instagram, and in the last hour, I've probably received about 45 messages just in relation to, like, should I be buying, should I be selling, should I be going long, should I be going short, etc., etc. And first of all, I am not in a position to kind of tell you what you should be doing with your money. Obviously, that's up to you. And yeah, I mean, I know there's a lot of people on YouTube and obviously on Instagram who tell you to buy this course, and I'll tell you how to be doing this and be doing that, and it's just not really my thing, really. So I'm personally not going to be telling you what to be doing, but this is just my 2 cents on this entire thing. To give you some, as well, just to give you some more context as well of like how I'm thinking about this entire thing. I am currently living in Bali in Indonesia, and I've been going to a lot of different networking events over the past couple of months, and every single time I go, there's a lot of people who are talking about taking out leverage. Now, it's not just 2x leverage. We're talking like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50x leverage on meme coins, especially specifically on Solana. And the more times I go to these events, there's more and more people talking about how altcoins are here, crypto this, crypto that, blah, 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 blah. And now I am fully aware that probably where I'm staying is a little bit of a echo chamber, just in terms of people being very into crypto. But I just find it a great barometer, just in terms of assessing how bullish people actually are. Now, obviously, when there's a lot of people, this is just me personally, but when a lot of people are talking about the same thing, about going long, and you can't really, let's say, lose money, it just makes me very, very, very uneasy. Now, I think what is currently happening is that we are seeing a unwinding of too much leverage in the system, and me personally, I think this is a great opportunity, especially if you understand what you own and why you own it. Now, I know I say that phrase a hell of a lot, and I'm going to try and reduce saying that phrase. That phrase is from Peter Lynch. I think the book is called One Up on Wall Street. But I'm just kind of, when I meet these people and I'm asking, okay, well, why do you own this, and what are the reasons why you own it? And they kind of talk about this very top level view. They don't really talk about much fundamentals at all. It's just kind of like, oh, I follow this YouTube channel and he's very bullish on blah, 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 blah. And because he's bullish, I'm going to be bullish, and we're all going to get rich together. Now, just to give you, again, some more context and kind of like a little bit of a peek behind the curtain to a certain extent. There's a lot of people who kind of reach out to me on Instagram, and mainly on Instagram because I've got like 1.3 million followers. There's a lot of people who are kind of wanting to do partnerships because obviously I have the reach, and I have there's a lot of relatively famous people who follow the account, and they want to promote different types of crypto projects and different types of brokerage firms. And for me, I just feel it's kind of very disingenuous in terms of promoting a broker because you get a commission, or promoting a project because you've got the pre-sale of that specific project. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that every single YouTuber who talks about all of these projects always have a position in them projects, but you've just got to kind of work out the incentive structure behind of like, why is somebody overly bullish about one specific project, especially if it's a very micro cap project. I'll just be very, very wary of it because, again, you have these, they're called KOLs, especially when it comes to kind of like Web3 marketing. So, you know, they kind of give KOLs like 10, 15, 25 grand to kind of promote a specific project. And yeah, me personally, I just don't really feel comfortable taking that money and talking like a puppet around this project and that project. So first of all, that is one thing what I'm currently seeing. There's a lot of people who are saying that they own things just on the basis that there's a lot of influencers who obviously I've been talking about it a hell of a lot. Now, as well, I think these type of events where you see large price movements, especially on the downside, is very, very good, especially if you understand what you own and obviously why you actually own it. Now, me personally, I very much understand Bitcoin a hell of a lot. I personally don't really partake in a lot of these altcoins. The only kind of project where I kind of look at on a like monthly basis is probably Polkadot. Now, yeah, I mean, I can kind of get into all of that, but I really like Gavin Wood. I mean, he was the CTO of Ethereum, and I'm not really going to get into the whole Polkadot thing, but for me to kind of participate in all of these different types of altcoins, I just find it very exhausting. And, you know, when there's a lot of people getting into leverage and taking out all of this excess leverage, again, it just makes me very, very nervous. So anyway, I want to give you my observations on what is currently happening. So at the moment, what I think is very interesting to actually look at is the relative strength of Solana in compared to Ethereum. Now, you know, I think Ethereum has its problems, right? But there's a lot of people, I keep saying a lot of people, but there is from who I've been kind of like speaking to and in different types of group chats I'm currently in, a lot of people don't really want to get involved in Ethereum anymore. They really like the idea of Solana because it's quicker, it's cheaper, and they really look at Ethereum as a boomer coin, similar to Bitcoin. They don't really want to get into Bitcoin because, I mean, what's the whole point of it? Blah, 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 blah. You know, it's a boomer coin, etc., etc., etc. So the new sexy thing is meme coins and Solana. So Solana is holding up very, very, very well in this drawdown. What I think is incredibly interesting because, you know, they do have a very wide network effect, and just in terms of users and the amount of people who are kind of like trading these meme coins. But Ethereum, I think, yeah, I mean, I don't really know how far Ethereum is going to be bleeding, but I think it's just interesting to look at. Now, the Bitcoin dominance is currently at 63%. It's up quite a lot today. And just to give you some more context on Bitcoin dominance is where you take the entire, let's say, crypto market, and you see how, let's say, dominant Bitcoin is in terms of its market cap in relation to the entire market cap of the entire industry. So when Bitcoin dominance goes up, it just typically means that people are selling their, let's say, altcoins back to Bitcoin. So that is also interesting to look at. Also as well, the USDT dominance is very interesting to look at, and this just means that there's a lot of people who are selling going back to cash. Also as well, the liquidations, I'm just currently looking at the liquidations, and the liquidations are just scaling more and more and more and more up. It seems that it's going to be a very, 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 very difficult day for a lot of people. Again, leverage, I think, in this market is very, very tricky to kind of handle. Also, as well, something else to kind of look at is the crypto total market cap. Well, total 3 market cap, and this is the crypto total market cap excluding BTC and ETH. And you can kind of see there's a very, very large candle, pretty much going from like 1.1 trillion all the way down to about 750 billion. And you mean it's a very, very small amount, right? Well, I say small amount, I mean the entire market, the market cap of the entire market outside of BTC and Ethereum is relatively small. 750 billion, when you think about all of the projects, what are currently in this space, you know, it's it's a very, very small small market cap, and obviously when you see all of that cash pretty much evaporates, it's kind of like, okay, well, where is that going? And a lot of people are going, like I said, back to BTC, back to USDT. And again, like looking at Solana as well, a lot of people kind of are moving from a lot of these other projects back to Solana. So yeah, I personally don't think it's anything to worry about. Obviously, I think the things what we do know that Trump is very kind of pro Bitcoin. Obviously, there's a lot of people around him who are very, very pro Bitcoin and pro crypto. Trade tariffs, how are they really going to impact the entire crypto market? I just think it's a little bit of a mirage to a certain extent. Also, I wanted to add that there was a lot of anticipation that the Fed is going to be cutting rates. Obviously, they didn't cut rates, and they didn't really imply that they are going to be cutting rates. And again, when you kind of mix all of these things together, you are kind of restricting liquidity and capital. And to a certain extent, obviously, when you have too much capital in the system, that capital will kind of push out into more and more risk assets. So, you know, this crypto space, just in general, we are still in quantitative tightening. We're not really in QE, like quantitative easing. So this whole idea that we are going to be going to the moon anytime soon, I think is a little bit premature. But yeah, I mean, obviously these things can massively change on a flick of a dime. I do think that Trump and his administration will probably most likely be very, very vocal around crypto and Bitcoin, just with the people who he has around him. Now, that is my 2 cents on all of this. I think it's great for the market how we wipe out all of this excess leverage and we kind of reset and go again. Now, I know it's very painful to kind of hear that, and there's a lot of people who are in a lot of pain, and obviously with losing money, etc. But I think overall it's great for the space. Again, like in traditional markets, when somebody is over leveraged and they start to, let's say, go bankrupt, there's a lot of backstops. It's like it's too big to fail. We can't allow it to fail. And it's not really a true capitalistic society, whereas Bitcoin is very much doesn't really have these backstops. It's like if you are excessive, if you are very, very leveraged and you get wiped out, that is on you. So I kind of like it from in that regard. But anyway, hopefully this has been a bit informative. Please understand what you own and obviously why you own it. Now, to the 4 people who watch me, I hope you're having a lovely day and it's not that painful. And I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.